Hello and welcome to my presentation on improving teacher in-service training days. I'm Margaret St.Andre and this is December 2nd, 2018. I would like you to think to yourself and describe a typical professional development day that you have had. In a live presentation, I would have my audience log on to polleve.com, where we would produce a word cloud that looks something like this. I've prepared this in advance for the purpose of this training, for the purpose of this presentation. And some teachers who responded felt that typical trainings were overwhelming, were busy, had a ton of information, usually mandatory, and took too much work. I would also like you to describe and think to yourself an effective professional development day. For the purpose of this presentation, I prepared the word cloud in advance. Teachers have responded to me using the polleve.com, using words like relevant, helping the community, effective, communication, useful, impact students' learning, and hands-on. When you consider that quality teaching is the most important variable contributing to student learning, why would we spend days and days of in-service training with ineffective professional development? It does not make any sense. Also, we must consider that we know the deep pedagogy that differentiation works, and it works for teachers too. We know that in an effective learning environment, choice makes a difference. We know that students need think time and saturation time, meaning not only do we need time to work our brain and develop metacognition, we also need time to understand concepts fully and to implement them in our daily practice. Most people, even adults, learn by doing, and we need more hands-on practices and practical applications for our classrooms. And finally, collaboration creates an effective working environment in which teachers and students are more effective. We need to ditch the all-day trainings. We should not hold a one-size-fits-all training. In a staff, you will have teachers who have been educating for 20 years, and you will have instructors who are on their first year of teaching. We need to allow teachers to make decisions on what they need to improve instruction in the classroom. Training all day, we should not have trainings all day and expect change to happen overnight. We need to include time for collaboration, saturation, and implementation, meaning that teachers need to learn the concepts, discuss the concepts with their peers, have time to work out how that concept will affect their classroom and how to implement it. And then we need time to practice it, much like students need time to practice before their assessments. Finally, we would never allow ourselves to lecture to a whole group all day long in our learning environments. Therefore, we should not expect teachers to listen to lectures all day. Instead, our trainings need to include hands-on and actionable changes that can happen in the classroom. My solution to the all-day training is the workshop style. Workshops get more done. In a workshop, teachers participate and what is relevant to them, because more than one training is offered, and they are able to pick either by themselves or with their teaching team what they need in order to improve their teaching in the classroom. Workshops promote collaboration because a team needs to discuss who will attend what training, and then they need to come back and share what happened so that others in their team don't miss out. In a workshop, you can cover more in less time because teachers will attend a workshop and then share the information with others. You have a higher level engagement because teachers want to be in that particular workshop. Ideas from outside your everyday teaching team are shared when you are in your small group workshop learning about your topic and with other teachers that you do not see on a daily basis. And finally, workshops promote effective methods of teaching for educators, just like they do for our students. Here is my suggested workshop schedule that I believe would work for our in-service days in my school. First, we would start every in-service day with an introduction and a welcome at our teaching time. Every welcome meeting would review the agenda, our goals and our purpose, present the cross-cutting ideas and any umbrella topics that all of our workshops fall under. We would dedicate 3 hours to these workshop trainings, which could be presented in a full 3-hour block to provide deep understanding of the topic, or 2 1.5-hour blocks, giving teachers an opportunity to learn more in a single day. After lunch, teaching teams would come together to discuss the strategies that were learned, discuss how they would be implemented in their pacing, and decisions from what would work for them as a team and what would work for them as individual educators. And finally, they would have time to implement these practices in their classroom and plan for future lessons. Finally, all workshop meetings will close as a whole staff, debriefing the most effective aspects of the day and how what we learn fit under our umbrella concepts, and most importantly, our goals and purpose. Some possible workshops that I believe would fit in to this model can be taught and presented by in-house specialists. Technology in the classroom could be presented by our ET specialist who knows our instructors and what our community needs. We have an in-school specialist for English language learning, and she could present on our new curriculum and allow our teachers a better understanding on how to use this tool to teach our college and career readiness standards. Also, our reading specialist could present ways to implement effective small group instruction and how to build skill building groups instead of leveled reading. And finally, in our community, with a 30% ESL rate, we could have the ESL specialist present on vocabulary building, English exposure through grouping, and best practices that are good for everyone and great for ESLs. In conclusion, I believe the workshop model will be more effective than the all-day training because teachers would be more engaged in small group, effective lessons that they could implement in their classroom. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for your time.